Brought to you by 1AAuto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet.
Hi, I'm Mike from 1AAuto. I hope this how-to video helps you out. And next time you need parts for your vehicle, think of 1AAuto.com. Thanks.
In this video, we're going to show you how to replace a rear window regulator and motor assembly on this 2000 Nissan Altima, same as a 98 to 01 Altima. The tools you'll need are pretty basic: a small flat blade screwdriver, a Phillips screwdriver, and a 10mm socket with a ratchet and extension. And you also need some painter's tape.
Start by taking a flat blade screwdriver, and there's a little trim button right down in here. You have to be careful, all the sticky stuff down in here sometimes. Pry that up, and then there's a Phillips screw there. And then here, you need to carefully, and you can see this actually has already been broken, but carefully go in here, pry out. Okay, up here, pry out. Up here, pry out as well. And remove this bezel, and you can see there it has 4 places where clips go in.
Here I'm just using a Phillips screwdriver. Take out that screw and pull up on that pull cup. The whole assembly comes up and off, and the switch comes out with it. Pull it backwards and out, and then underneath there's a tab on the harness where it connects. Push the tab down, disconnect the harness.
Pull out, work your fingernails underneath, and pull out on the door panel and release a bunch of clips. Lift the panel up and off.
Fast forward here a little bit. There is a bracket on the middle of the door. Use a 10mm socket and ratchet, or a screwdriver would work, and remove the bracket so that you can then pull that water shield down. And you might be able to tell that somebody just kind of cut the water shield before. That's not what you want to do. You want to pull it off, try not to damage it, keep it intact. And now with that water shield out of the way, you'll see a brace that is held on by another 4 10mm bolts, and remove those and remove the brace.
Okay, these regulators are cable actuated. Actually, and my regulator here is fine, but I am going to take it apart and put it back together just to show you. And when the regulator breaks, usually you can hear the motor try to work, but nothing happens. And you can also usually grab onto the window and move it up and down without anything interfering. So what you want to do is either yourself or have a helper move the window into this position so you can easily get at this bolt here, and you can get at this bolt through this hole here.
I'm going to fast forward here as I remove those 2 bolts, and then once those bolts are out, you can grab the window and slide it up into the top of the frame.
Okay, just hold the window up with some painter's tape. Okay, now there's your connection for your motor right here. You just pull up on a little tab and disconnect that, and then you can actually reach in behind and squeeze on a couple of tabs to get the clip off. Okay, now the motor's held in by 3 bolts, 1, 2, and 3. And remove this bolt and this bolt down here, and loosen this bolt for the regulator rail.
And again, I'll fast forward here as I get that clip out for the harness, and then remove those bolts and loosen up the other one for the rail.
Slide this over and down, lift your window motor up and out. Okay, and this whole assembly comes right out. For installation, make sure you put the bolt up here in your top left corner. Slip your motor in. Regulator hung up right there. The motor up. Okay, one of the tabs right there, and the other there. And now just put all the bolts back in.
And speed it up here one more time as we just put all the bolts into the motor plate, the motor bracket, as well as the rail, and then use our socket and ratchet to tighten them up.
Tape off. And slide your window down, make sure it goes outside of the regulator.
And once the window's down, start the bolts in that hold the regulator to the window, and then tighten those up. Now you're going to put the brace back on. It has an arrow that points up and also has a styrofoam block that goes in towards the inside of the door. And then use the 4 bolts to mount it, tighten them up, and then put your water shield back up in place and put the door panel brace back on.
Okay, put this on. You want to get the back clipped in here first. And then go at a really good angle, push it up, and then on. Okay, now bring the front up, push it in towards the window, and down on. Okay. Put the edges in. And put this back in place. Down in and grab the harness. Reconnect that. Push the front in first, and the back down in. Put our Phillips screw back in. And then our little trim button.
We hope this helps you out. Brought to you by www.1aauto.com, your source for quality replacement parts and the best service on the internet. Please feel free to call us toll-free 888-844-3393. We're the company that's here for you on the internet and in person.